Good morning, Tim, and happy Thanksgiving week to you. We're here to talk about some culture in action. What do you think?
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving, and it's great to be here. Thanks, Pete.
Awesome. So, hey, everybody, the book Pathfinders launched yesterday. Later today, the paperback is going to be available for purchase. But we're really excited. We're super close to bestseller status. So I can put the link in the chat in the comments over here. Please grab your ebook at a discounted price. It's been fun, Tim, to get some of the feedback from the early readers. They're like, dude, this is like a good book. I'm like, well, that was kind of the idea. They're like, I can't really put it down. And it's cool to hear this from people that are mostly like audible, like they just listen to books. Or I can't remember, there's another app that you just get like the summaries of the books. You probably know the one I'm talking about. And I kind of had in my mind this handful of people that if they said nice things, then I don't care about any other awards or statuses. It's a win for me. So we're on our way there. But
we'll try not to act so surprised that you wrote a good book. So that's
it's so one of the other pieces, everybody, I met Tim, I guess probably two years ago now. And as I was going through this book writing process and, putting different things together, I bounce ideas off him often. And so I owe you a big thank you from my own professional development and growth on a couple of different fronts, Tim. And, the journey continues as you keep scaling, growing, and taking on new challenges. So you're very much so part of this story, part of this journey. And I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just absolutely love the entire premise of your book. I truly believe that the key to success in life is intentionality, right? To be able to strategically identify your goals and then to chart that course. And you provide a very tangible path on how people can do that for themselves in their lives. And I teach my kids all the time that you become who you hang around. It's one of our family core values. And I love the whole message of Pathfinders because it helps you to think about who should your circle be, and how can you surround yourself with people that challenge you, make yourself better, can help you augment your skill set, to prepare for this crazy journey that we call life. And so I absolutely love it. It's been a thrill for me to participate and help you in a very, very, very small way. And I am thrilled to see your success.
One small step for Tim Tanner, one large step for the Pathfinders book. Hey, couple of questions. Whenever it comes to implementation, right? You're pretty big on implementing certain processes, and people are a big part of some of the work. So maybe just give a quick shout out to what you do as a certified EOS implementer, right? Kind of what that's all about. And then as we're thinking about some of these concepts, we'll talk about how might I do some of this as a leader? And then we'll get into, who can benefit most from this: grads, early career, mid-career, late career, mid-management. But the implementation, just talking through some of your thoughts around that.
Absolutely. So I help business leaders, leadership teams, organizations really focus on three things. So we call vision, traction, healthy. So vision, first, getting 100% aligned on where you're going, how you're going to get there, why it's important. Then building out the traction, the execution piece. This was where most people, most organizations fall down. And we like to say in EOS, vision without traction is hallucination. So I help my clients build that execution muscle throughout the organization. So 100% of the people are executing every single day against that vision, actually turning it into reality. And then third, I work with leadership teams to be more healthy. Healthy is transparent, accountable, collaborative, because usually leadership teams aren't those things. And So through vision, traction, healthy, I'm able to help organizations really get crystal clear on what are the goals. What's that one thing that we want to accomplish, that organizational North Star, if you will. And then through traction, build out that execution plan. What do we need to do to be able to execute on that plan, holding each other accountable, driving results for the organization, and then healthy, doing it in a way that's fun, where people enjoy working together, and you actually create a cohesive, accountable, and high functioning team. And so that, in a nutshell, is what I do. And what I love about Pathfinders is you're taking those same concepts and applying it to an individual's life. So, what are you trying to accomplish? What is that big goal? What does what's that one thing that if you were to accomplish that, you would feel like you've done something with your life? And then from there, building out that execution plan. And so in EOS, we work backwards. We start with a 10-year target, then we go to a 3-year picture, a 1-year plan, and then quarterly rocks. So what do we need to do this 90 days in order to be able to hit the 1 year, to hit the 3 year, to hit the 10-year? And so I just love helping people think through those things and to actually execute.
So whenever you kind of talk about beginning with the end in mind and working from the end forward, we talk about that a good bit on the career map piece. So you think that the career map is the visualizing what I've done, what I'm doing, what I want to do. Wow, 10-year plan, right? Where do I see myself in 10 years? There's a lot of alignment to that piece, right? And so that's where we go through the 5 different columns. I call it the 4 quadrants plus the fun stuff, right? And it really talks about, kind of visualizing, right? Just on one sheet of paper, maybe 2 sheets if you have a lot of experience, but it's really, forcing you and challenging you to be brief and concise with what you're showing down, right? So the different jobs you've had in the organizations, the different skills and tools you've used, the education and certifications, some of the achievements and accomplishments, and then the fun stuff and the things outside of work. And again, that's past, present, and future, because once you have that, some kind of a plan in place, you could talk to Tim, you could talk to your EOS implementer, you could talk to those other people on your personal board of advisors and say, hey, here's kind of the plan that I got going on here. What are your thoughts? And, you probably had some mentees throughout your career, and you probably did this at certain points as you were growing, Tim. You really wrote it out, because if, you're helping me and I'm able to come to you with a couple of talking points and this thing that you're able to visualize, I took the first step. First, you're probably going to say, like, all right, he's kind of serious about this thing. He's, not likely to waste my time. All right, cool. Let's keep moving forward to the next gate, if you will. All right, he has a little bit of thought into this. So maybe he's done it before. He's not going to waste my time. And he kind of wants to do this thing. So maybe I might even learn something along the way. And then, everything's right here. It's organized in a nice manner. So, it's going to be streamlined and I'm not going to get frustrated along the way. I think that's something that we really have to focus on, is making sure that any of these relationships, mentor, mentee, ally, champion, successor, anything, we really do the planning work to make the life of the other person easy, right? Less frustrations, not a bad thing in my eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So a couple things that you just unpacked there that I love, right? First, getting that written plan. And so a lot of us have a general idea of where we want to go or what we want to accomplish in life, but there is so much power in the written word, and to be able to get that onto some sort of document where it really helps you solidify exactly what it is that you want to accomplish. And then from there, the next big step is to share it with others. When you have a big target and you're communicating it freely to those around you, it does a couple things. One, it makes it more real. Two, it creates this accountability where others are now expecting you to follow through in the things that you've talked about. And then third, most people want to help.
Yeah.
And so most people are going to offer assistance in order to help you think through and to achieve your goals. And so first getting it written down, second sharing it openly with as many people that are is willing to listen, I think are two very powerful steps. In EOS, we talk about first aligning the vision, and then we call it shared by all, right? Getting everyone in the organization 100% aligned, sharing, seeing that vision in their mind's eye, absolutely helps with driving towards execution and actually achieving that vision.
So that's something that we can do as, leaders pushing things forward. I think there's an opportunity for the, kind of rock star employees to do some of these things anytime it comes to professional development. That's typically where it aligns a little bit more. Tim, now that you've, immersed yourself in the concept and the methodology a decent amount, um, where would you say people can benefit most from this? So we think about college grads, we think about some of the people at various stages of their career professionally, and I think there's also the aspect to be cognizant of am I going to benefit from this, or can I learn about this so then my people can benefit? So what's your thought on there as we go through the life phases?
Yeah, absolutely. So, all of us start our careers as individual contributors for the most part. And
Mhm.
so I started my career as a pharmacist. I went to pharmacy school. I became a registered pharmacist. And I quickly discovered that I wanted to lead and grow teams. I tell people that while I was always passionate about my patients becoming healthy, I quickly discovered my true calling, my true passion was to figure out how to make the teams and companies healthy
Mhm.
that I worked in. And I worked in major corporations that everyone's heard of. And so it was in that early stages of my career, I set the vision to want to become the leader of a large pharmacy organization, executive vice president's the title that they used then. And I was a staff pharmacist, and I asked the executive vice president, that was my boss, or boss's boss's boss, to see if he would have a meeting with me. And he absolutely did. And so I went into his office, sat down, and quite boldly I said, I envision at some point in my career being in a role like you're in. And I would love to do anything that I can to take work off of your plate that would allow me to grow and develop so I can learn a little bit more about what it's like to be in your seat. And I jokingly tell people I then had to help him off the floor, get him back into his chair because he fell out of it. I've had a 20 plus year career of executive leadership. I've never had anyone say those things to me because what I said to him is, I'm willing to come in early, I'm willing to come late, and I don't expect to be paid for it.
Mhm.
I just want to use this as a growth opportunity. And to his credit, he then became a major mentor in my life. He handed me a tremendous amount of work that obviously helped him, but it was such a great learning experience for me to deal with the contracting and the executive relationships and all of the various things that he dealt with on a day-to-day basis. Fast forward about a year or so later, all of a sudden I came home from work one day. This is back when we still had voicemails and phones at our homes. And I had a voicemail on my phone saying, you are requested to drive. I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio at the time. You're requested to drive to Toledo tomorrow morning for an interview. Don't worry about calling off. We've already talked to this leader, and he's expecting you not to be in the pharmacy. and to come to this interview. And so I drove from Cincinnati to Toledo and had the opportunity to interview. I was offered the job on the spot, and I moved myself to Columbus to then lead a division of this organization, starting with the title of Vice President of Operations, then eventually Executive VP. And so it's just my way of muddling through what you've clearly articulated in your book, right? To be able to, one, have a vision of what you want to accomplish, and then the second is to leverage the people around you. And I think you have to do it humbly. I think you have to do it in a attitude of, I don't expect to be paid. I don't expect any special treatment. I just want to help. And through that helping, I want to learn and grow. And I truly believe that that's the one decision that set my entire career up. Because from there, I went from executive VP, the COO, the CEO, and it just, it set that career up beautifully through the concepts of exactly what you teach.
Yeah. So if we look at that from an outside perspective, this was helpful early career, right?
Yep.
For you to do a little bit of planning and a little bit of structuring of some things out there. It was helpful mid-career so that you could kind of do a refresher and maybe refine and amplify some of what's going on. And then, although you said that nobody did come into your office, I bet you would have been all right if somebody walked in and said, "Hey, I want to be like you. I want to see myself in in your shoes one day." And maybe, Tim, that's an opportunity for us to, as leaders, proactively share some of these concepts and, tell the story and say, "Hey, people do want to help." Number 3 on there, right? People do want to help. But if you don't ask, last time I checked, most leaders aren't great at reading minds yet.
Exactly. And that's the point. Absolutely. That's the point. I truly believe that the definition of a leader is someone that's created another leader that has created another leader. So just by creating a leader, you are not a leader yet, right? The true hallmark of leadership is to be able to then help someone then create another leader. That's what builds extensions of ourselves. That's what creates this rippling effect. And while I have absolutely developed people throughout my career and helped to create those leaders, I never had the same energy and enthusiasm coming back to me initially of someone volunteering. And that's what I would love to encourage others to do, to know that most leaders value that initiative. They value people having dreams and goals and ambitions, and they want to help. I think most of us are inherently wired to be able to help others reach their goals.
I think it also helps us want to stay at the organization longer if we can say, "Hey, here's where I am and here's where I want to go." And, I like to put some of the different faces of people on the career map. And, from the personal board, so you're like, okay, as I go into this role, this person can kind of help me. Hey, as I, kind of go this role, by that point in my career, I'd like to be like this person. So put their face, put their name on your career map. It doesn't just have to be a title or a job, but whenever we find those folks that we align with, personally, professionally, maybe spiritually as well, but you're like, yep, that's the kind of person. So for you, whenever we're putting this together, right, the personal board, the couple of people we can connect with and engage with, and the career map, right, what we've done, where we are, what we want to do in the future, there's a couple of different ways that we can truly be creative about it. Tim, on one of the launch events yesterday, I was talking with Joe McClinsky and brought up that quote again. We were talking about, leadership. And I think I'll share the link over here as well. I think you'll like some of the work that he's doing down there. So, hey, in closing, any other, kind of things to share? Oh, by the way, EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. Just want to clarify that. Probably should have done 25 minutes ago, but that's what EOS stands for. Also want to thank Beth and Alex for bringing us together I think there's a couple of other, Kevin has re-brought us together a couple of times. So thank you to all of those pieces. But, Tim, before we get a little bit closer to the Thanksgiving holiday, what else might you share to folks as they are thinking about if they want to claim their copy of Pathfinders, navigating your career map with a personal board of advisors?
Yeah. The last thing I think to hit upon, and I think you touch upon it as you just talked, is that what got you here won't get you there. The skills that you need, the tools that you need around your tool belt change and evolve as you grow in your career.
Mhm.
And what gets you promoted earlier in your career is technical expertise around a specific skill. What
Mhm.
gets you promoted later in your career is your ability to grow, mentor, and lead others. And so that's the other thing that I didn't fully appreciate in the early days of my career, that now looking back. And so, I shared with, when I went into that office, I was focused on the technical skills,
Yeah.
which, I needed at that time, but that was also a very brief time that really, as I grew and developed my career, um, my ability to lead and inspire and mentor others became center stage. And so that's the other thing that I would like people to just kind of think about as they walk through this process, is really, where are the gaps? Where are the things that I need to get better? And I believe very much that life is a journey towards mastery. There is no end destination. We're just constantly focused on getting better. And I love Pathfinders is a tool, as a vessel to help us navigate that journey.
Let's see. I'm going to put one last thing up on the, there we go, link to get the book, pathfinders.golatitude.com. So please check it out. Tim, thank you so much for everything the last couple of years. Quick update. When's the next soccer game? Where are you guys traveling to?
We have just finished our soccer season. We are now moving into futsal. Futsal is kind of like soccer on a basketball court, 5v5, smaller ball that's dead. It doesn't bounce.
Okay.
And very quick, fast-paced game. A lot of fun. And so we're going to be in Virginia for a tournament here in December for that. We have been in Virginia, Buffalo, Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Covington, Kentucky, Nashville, Knoxville, and Central PA all this season for soccer. So getting a lot of miles on that car. But, that's a great example of my daughter. She set some very, very big, hairy, audacious goals. She wants to achieve a tremendous amount in her soccer career. And she has dedicated every day of her life for the past 7 years, and she's planning on spending the next 13 years, right? Just doing the work every single day to make it happen, and to walk that path towards mastery in her skill that she is passionate about. And so this is not just a work conversation. This is a life conversation, and can be applied to anything that you're trying to accomplish in your life.
And that's UNC women's soccer, right? That's kind of the goal, right?
She is very much infatuated with that program. There's a lot of great soccer programs out there. We live in Pittsburgh. We have to give a shout out to the Pitt program. Their women just hit the Elite Eight for the very first time in the history of their program.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This year, they toppled UNC in the ACC tournament. But there's so many great programs out there, and she would just be honored to play for any of them. But we do love some of these other programs too. So it'll be fun to see where she ends up. She's going to really be starting the recruiting side here probably next year. trying to find a home. So,
well, on her journey, let's get her a copy of the book so that she can continue to grow with the others. Tim, thanks so much. Thanks everybody for tuning in. See you soon. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday if you're celebrating, and safe travels.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Pete. Appreciate it. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.